Meet Alexa Dolan, a promising artist hailing from the artistic landscapes of New Jersey. After graduating from Randolph High School in 2021, Alexa continued her schooling at the County College of Morris, where she studies animation and graphic design. Alexa breathes life into her visions through the fusion of digital art and traditional paintings. With a palette as diverse as the Garden State itself, she navigates the realms of imagination with a skillful hand and a mind fueled by inspiration. Alexa's art captures the essence of her surroundings. Alexa has been drawing since she was 15 years old and uses both digital tools and acrylic paint. You can sometimes find Alexa Dolan practicing drawing in the library of the County College of Morris, perfecting her drawing ability. She's crafting visual stories that invite viewers to step into the colorful tapestry of her imagination, where the spirit of the Garden State comes alive with every stroke. There is no doubt that Alexa is a talented artist, so let us have a chat with her and get to know her. Hello and welcome to Garden State of the Arts. Our guest today is Alexa Dolan. Alexa, thank you so very much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
So tell us, what inspired you to become an artist?
Well, ever since I was young, I've always had a fondness of a pencil. I've always been picking it up and doodling anything I've seen. I would say the biggest thing was just going outside and seeing the world around me. I just wanted to try and capture that beauty, something that you just really couldn't get in a photograph from your phone at the time, you know?
Right. So with starting at a very young age, how long would you say you were planning on becoming an artist?
I don't think it was ever something that I thought would be my career in the future. I kind of thought of it more as a hobby, but my parents always gave me supplies and always pushed me to just keep drawing, keep doing more. And over time, it just grew into something so big in my life that there was nothing else that I could really see as ending up as my career.
What a beautiful passion to have. Do you find any difficulties with being an artist?
I think that the biggest difficulty would have to just be the money, paying for all the supplies, the canvases, the brushes, you know. Learning is expensive. You're going through lots of tubes of paint for color theory. You're going through so much turpentine and oil painting when you're trying to figure out how the colors mesh together with oils on your canvas. But it's all part of the learning process, and eventually, if you keep practicing hard enough, one day you will make that all back.
Of course, it's all worth it in the end. So as you've just mentioned, you know, having worked with several different media, what would you say is your favorite medium to use when creating art?
I would say that I've taken a fondness to colored pencils of lately. I had finished a drawing of Winona Ryder recently, from most notably Heathers and Girl Interrupted, two of my favorite movies.
Of course.
Another one of my favorite media would have to be digital. It's just always had a place in my heart ever since I've gotten an iPad. It's been really, really fun to do, especially with my passion for animation.
So with your passion for animation and, you know, learning different things, are there any specific artists that inspire you?
I would have to say Wes Anderson is probably one of my biggest inspirations. He works in all different types of movies, but most notably one of more recent releases is Isle of the Dogs. And it's a claymation piece, and while I don't really use claymation much in my art, just the character development, the storyline, making a dog have trauma responses and things that it can't even explain to people about why he bites, you know. It's just really deep and inspirational and something to strive for, and, you know, the storytelling and character development.
That's amazing. Do you say that you utilize this character development and, you know, story behind the characters in your artwork?
Oh, all the time. I would say that it just really got me thinking and more interested in like psychology and stuff like that, because you can't really make a world that's immersive without, you know, making a brain behind the characters, the personality, events that have happened long before the world and events you're establishing have even happened, you know.
Wow, beautiful backstory. So how do you come up with what you're going to draw?
Well, the creative process is different for everyone. Like I said, nature is just really, really big in it for me. I've always gone outside and just admired what I see, and it's just so pliable, you know. You can just take a real surrealist aspect to it and really enhance or add different colors and make different brush strokes so that it doesn't really look exactly like it was before, but it just still depicts that beauty.
Is there anything specific that you find rewarding about doing what you do?
I would say just stepping away from the canvas and just taking a look at the piece as a whole is really, really rewarding at the end. I would also say that just having people's interpretations of your work, just listening to what they have to say after looking at your piece, is really inspiring.
That's amazing. Do you ever plan on perhaps sharing your gifts with others, maybe selling it?
Selling it maybe, but I would be more interested in maybe character design and development for like an animation or game studio. One of my biggest inspirations as a kid was Alex Hirsch, who was the creator and director of Gravity Falls, and that was something that really inspired my love for animation and wanting to pursue this career.
That's amazing. Gravity Falls is quite the classic, so that's a great inspiration to have. With your passion for digital characters and cartoons such as Alex Hirsch's creations, how were you able to develop your personal art style?
I would just say it's a conglomerate of every show, every piece of media, every artist I've ever enjoyed. You know, you take a little piece of everything you study and just strive to be, and you make your own conglomerate style.
What would you say your style is similar to?
I have a very surrealist style. I don't think it's necessarily similar to any of like the older artists from like the Renaissance or anything like that.
Right.
Those are always easy to compare to. I would say I have a more recent styles to like cartooning, like Alex Hirsch and Rebecca Sugar and stuff like that.
Amazing. I can't wait to see your art on the big screen then. What would you say is the hardest and the easiest thing that you've ever had to draw?
The hardest thing that I've ever had to draw is probably the experience I'm having right now in my Drawing 2 class, which is learning how to do figure drawing. You kind of abandon everything that you know, and you have to take a more fluid look at what you're drawing, you know, the lines and the curves of the body versus just drawing a head and shoulders and, you know, biceps or anything like that. The easiest thing that I've ever drawn, I would have to go back to just animals in nature once again, just because they're so pliable and you can really take a creative, you know, turn on these things, adding different colors, adding, you know, blues and greens in places they're not supposed to be, making them a little bit cooler.
That's amazing. I'm sure with your passion too for, like you said, taking inspiration from the nature around you, it might be a little bit more easy to put creativeness towards this artwork that you're using. So speaking of your artwork, our producers were actually able to get us a few pieces of yours, and we would love to get a little bit more explanation on the creative process if you'd like to share.
Yeah, of course. So for this piece, it was when I had actually first gotten my iPad. I really wanted to focus on symmetry, lots of strong primary colors and textures in the background. I really like how it came out. It's almost kind of like a contemporary piece.
Yeah.
This piece was for an abstract that I had done in high school. It was based off of Poseidon and how he would react to the things going around in the world today. The whole abstract was called Greek Gods and how they react to modern problems. This one was about pollution in the ocean and how angry and frustrated he would be with the environment that his creations have to live in. This was just a basic still life that I had to do for a drawing class, but I really enjoyed the way you can't particularly see the front of the light source, but you can kind of see how the light's emitting back and the heat still reflects on the light. And this one was a piece where I took creative liberties, like I said before, in the surrealism in nature. I really like adding painterly strokes to it and vibrant colors in places they're not particularly supposed to be. Yeah.
Those are beautiful. Those are absolutely beautiful pieces.
Thank you so much.
So out of those, or even more, do you have any pieces of artwork that you would say are your best?
My best, I would probably say there's one piece that I didn't include in this that was part of the abstract from high school, and it was a take on how Cupid would be upset about not letting us love who we want to love, and the repercussions that discrimination against LGBT people have in our society, and just how Cupid specifically would find it heartbreaking that, you know, he's the god of love and people aren't letting people love who they want to love.
That's incredible. That's a beautiful and creative way to put such real world issues into your pieces of work. That's incredible. So you've mentioned that you are taking classes here at CCM and you've had an opportunity to learn. Do you have any plans after CCM?
I'm really hoping to continue my studies at a four-year school. I'm specifically looking at Montclair and Rutgers, like to stay a little bit local. After that, I would love to take some internships and start working in some sort of game studio, animation studio. Would really be lucky if I can get into their character design department, because that is my favorite. I do love crafting stories and backstories, so those are my aspirations.
Well, Alexa, I know personally I am so excited to see the future of your artwork, and I'm sure I will be seeing it on the big screen soon, your own character development, own style. Thank you so very much for taking the time to speak with us today, and we will see you all next week on Garden State of the Arts.